All right, Panther fans. Um, this team, yes, you see Stu with his victory cigar. This team is finding new and improved ways to give us heart attacks. We're going to talk about last night's game. We're going to talk about the game before since we missed that one. And since both games were 3-goal comebacks, yesterday, twice basically. So, Stu, what in the hell is going on, brother?
I don't know. I don't like it. I much prefer coming out in the first period with 4 goals, where the offensive juggernaut is, turned on from the opening whistle.
Right.
But the bottom line is we came back 4 important points.
Mhm.
It reminded me of last year when we came back 4-0 in Boston to win that game. And then I think it was 9 days later, we did the same thing in Anaheim. So, it's nothing new. And the other night, as you know, we got down 4-1. I got disgusted.
Yeah.
And I said, F that, I'm done. I'm not watching anymore. And I turned the game off. And
you told me not to text you. So it's funny because I was going to wait until we were tied to text you.
But you did, and I came back, and it was 4-3.
Right.
And I was able to see I think I saw the Bob save, and then we went down and tied it. And then when we tied it, I knew we were gonna. I just knew we were gonna win.
Yeah.
We just kind of know these things. And last night, 3-0. I'm like, here we go again. But I stayed this time, and I watched it. Just
Right.
It can't happen.
No,
It can't happen. Just just a series of defensive mistakes. I think Bob could have had at least, well, the 5-hole goal at the end. I mean,
the 5-hole goal. Yeah, that's the one.
There was another goal that he could have had the way he's been playing, but no matter. I thought Knight came in. I was really worried about Knight and his confidence and the pressure of being down as much, and the fact that if Buffalo did score a goal, they would really kill the momentum that we were building. But it just goes to show you, and I've said it 1,000 times, we have the most potent offense in the league.
Yeah, and this is
time they want to turn that, that valve open up.
Yeah.
They just come in waves.
Yeah.
Wave after wave after wave.
Yep. And with this being without Barkov and without Duclair,
Marchment,
right? That's right, Forsling too. Which let's talk about that because Coach made the adjustment to the power play that you've been asking for, but of course it was with Forsling being hurt, so he actually put Uyghur out there to quarterback the power play.
It doesn't matter who the other player was, and it's not like I've been asking. I've been saying and telling. Ekblad needs to be on the left side in the Ovechkin Stamkos one-timer spot.
Right.
And that's when our power play was at the top of the standings last year.
Right.
It was because of that. And I don't know why it's taken him so long to finally move things around and put him where he should be. All right. Yeah. Case in point, he scored 2 goals last night.
Yep. Oh, I know.
Obviously one of the goals wasn't on the power play. But you could see in the power play goal, right place at the right time.
Right. And
there's no doubt in my mind if they don't move away from that, he should have at least 5 to 10 more one-time slap shot goals on the power play.
Yeah.
Full prediction.
Yep. And it seemed like the box was a little bit tighter too. It seemed like they weren't as far spread out on the power play too. But so that brings me back to, because we've been going back and forth about the coach and everything. But in the short video I did do last night, I said, well, I'll give him credit, even though it took him a while, like you said. At least he's showing a willingness to make some changes. And that one, hopefully, like you say, hopefully that one stays and sticks because it works.
And I don't mind Uyghur. I don't mind Uyghur being the 5th guy.
Right. Yeah, no, that
because
yeah,
they're both offensive minded defensemen, and it's good. And I'm happy. I'm happy with. And the more that that unit works with each other, the more that they're going to, get better and better. So
right. And
puck movement, quick puck movement.
yeah,
That's the big key. Just like on the winning Reinhardt goal, it was Reinhardt to tip it right back to Reinhardt to Ekblad to
right,
Huber back to Reinhardt. Boom, in the net.
in the net,
It,
yeah,
it, it was real quick, and that's the key to, the number one thing is getting the power play set up, and then once it's set up, is just moving it around and finding the right shot, and
right,
that's what happens. So.
yeah. So, and the other thing, I'll Mammon's looked a little bit better these last couple of games. At least he looks like and which is interesting because they moved him up before he looked better, but he's looked better. And Carlson also, he that he had a goal, then he didn't, then he had a goal, then he didn't, then he did. So
I personally think both goals were tipped in.
the second one was tipped by the defenseman.
The one that they gave to him, I thought, looking at the replays as many times as I've looked at him, I still think Reinhardt tipped it. But hey, I'm happy. The kids played better.
Yeah.
I really wasn't high on him. I like Connaughton's play.
Right.
But
right.
I think they like him.
Yeah.
I think they like him better than maybe Connaughton. I still think Connaughton's hurt, but listen, he's getting the job done. That's the important thing.
Right. Well, Connaughton's got to be hurt because why wouldn't they have just put him in and instead of calling up Kirsten? So that to me says Connaughton's got to be hurt. But then we got to start talking about getting some of these guys back. Now Duke wasn't on the ice yesterday. Barkov looks like he's getting closer. But we've really done well points wise considering the guys that have been out. What do you attribute to the slow starts? But I mean, is it just a phase, or is there something else in your opinion going on there?
I don't know. I actually thought we didn't come out on fire last night, but we didn't come out asleep.
Right.
Like in the Washington game, and I'm not going to say asleep, but let's just say slow. The Washington game, if you recall me texting you, I think there was 15:46 left in the period. And I said, "Oh, that looks like they finally got, they got moving."
Right.
I don't know what that's attributed to. I mean, look at the Carolina game or the the game after that where they scored 4 goals.
Right. It's frustrating because, like you said, I mean, we can turn it on like that, and when we do, I mean, it's crazy. When I was the Washington game, I was watching the Caps feed because the Panther feed was blocked out here. And the announcers during that third period, they were just incredulous. There was like, I've never seen a team. They just keep coming in waves and coming and coming and coming and coming. And I mean, the announcers sounded exhausted from how we had been able to just turn it on like that.
That's how scary our offense is.
Yeah.
And it's not one line.
No, it's not. No.
That was the line last night.
Yeah, I lost you. Your Wi-Fi went out on me. Your Wi-Fi went out on me. You there? Stu's outside at work right now, so he may be having a Wi-Fi problem. Or give him another couple of seconds here to come back to us. He may not know it. I kind of hear you, bud, but dang it. Let me text him. He's on his phone. I hear you, but you froze up. Well, let me.
You hear me?
I almost can hear. I can hear.
Moving.
Yeah, you're trying to get to a different spot. Oh, he's gone. He's going to probably try to come back in. Well, we'll give this a minute. We'll give Stu a minute to come back in, right? Stu's at work. He's not at home right now, so we'll have to give him a couple of seconds. Those slow starts for me, Um, I've seen a couple of people on Twitter wanting to say that it's coaching, and I'll be the first one to kind of bitch and complain about the coaching, but to me, that's kind of on the players, and Stu's right. Last night, it's not like we came out that bad. Huberto had that breakaway and didn't bury it, and that obviously seemed to change the momentum there. But it can't happen. Those things are gonna happen, but you can't have the emotional level of this team is so up and down. And I think Stu is trying to come back here. Let's give him a second. He's trying to get it back together again. I have Stu's name there. All right, well, I'll continue to fill the space here. The thing about the play, just turn it on and turn it off like that. It's great that we can turn it on. It's great that we can turn it on. But we've got to have a little bit more consistency. Those periods like we had to play against Washington, that will exhaust teams, players. You can't play a full 20 minutes like that all the time, right? I mean, you know that we're going to come in waves. It's going to, Stu's gone again. You know that when you have a regular game, it's going to be ebb and flow, is what I'm saying. But at the same time, getting down 3 goals. Last night, I thought we were just shooting for 4. I figured, well, we already know we can come back from 3. I thought maybe we were just going to try to come back from 4 goals. And it looked like for a second that, unfortunately, having to pull Bobrovsky out like that, he just did not have it. He clearly didn't have it last night. And hopefully, he didn't look great. Was it the last time out? Because I think the Capitals game, Stu was almost there for a second. There we go. All right, you good?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. I filled the space. We're good. We're good. So, yeah, we were talking about the hot and cold starts, the slow starts and everything like that. I would just like to see them get just a little bit more consistency. And they've kind of been that way with the wins too. It's like we won 7 and then we lost 4 and then we, a little bit more consistency.
Yeah, just understand they can't come out on fire like that and sustain it for 3 periods.
Right.
So there's got to be some moderation and as far as, but it seems to me that this team either goes, they go at one speed very fast.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, we got a tough game. I'm going tomorrow, St. Louis. It's a 1:00 game.
1:00, right.
Those afternoon games always scare me.
Yeah.
And then we go on the road. Are you Nick? Yeah. Okay, I gotta go.
Okay. Thanks, Stu. I appreciate it, bud. We'll chat again later. All right, so Stu is out. Stu is at work. We did the best we could there. So last night, what else did I see? I'm gonna try to add a little bit here because I know last night during the recap, it was all I could do to get off the couch there at the end and get that out. No, I'm still not feeling great today, but Kratom and Monster have me alive at least a little bit, and I took a couple of naps. So let's just kind of go over what I saw a little bit last night. We need to get Barkov and Duclair back. That's obvious. The Thornton line, that whoever's playing with Thornton just kind of, Tippett has disappeared. Bertrano's had a couple of moments when they're on the power play, but I did not see a whole lot of Thornton yesterday. I do not understand why we called up Peponiemi for him to sit. That's the one thing I'm not grasping that at all. Now I understand, Mammon has looked a little bit better, so okay, but why Peponiemi sitting there with Thornton? Clearly could use a night off. That's one I'm not so sure on. And then you get to the defense, and we've done okay. Kirsten has come in and done okay. We keep giving up these patches of goals and spots, and it's very similar to the way it was happening last year, where it would be a defensive breakdown, and then Bob could have kind of made the save, but you could also say, you can't just leave your goaltender just completely out to dry shot after shot, where the guy's alone in the front of the net, 2 feet away from the net, and all he's got to do is lift the puck up. The fourth goal, that was obviously that needed to get Bob pulled, and it did. So I was glad to see that. And then Spencer Knight. I was concerned, just like Stu said, because Knight has not exactly been starting games well, right? The first or second shot is in the back of the net. So when we brought him in to, in relief, and it's 4-1, and you're thinking, geez, this poor kid, he could let in a goal. And if he does, that's going to be it. Then we're down 4, which this team, I'm sure, like I said, they may be just playing games and see how many goals can they get behind, and how can they get, can they make a comeback? Winning them both in regulation, especially the game against Washington, was key, because although I don't really anticipate the Sabres being a playoff team, points are points, and regulation wins at some point down the road, especially the one against Washington, that could come in handy, because the division is tight, the standings are going to be tight. Some of these teams like Boston that are out, you got to anticipate them coming back up. And the Islanders, I still remain. Look, I know I picked the Islanders to win the cup, and they're probably not going to win the cup. Let's just be let's be honest there. I still feel like they're going to go on a run here at some point. Are they going to make the playoffs? I don't know. But if another team falters, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Islanders at least in the discussion towards the end of the season. So the point is, getting these in-conference regulation wins after we've been down 3 goals, that's huge. And come March and April, we're going to be looking at the standings, and it's going to be these last 2 games that could easily swing placement in the division for us. So other than that, that forward line continues to rock and roll with Lusterinen and Hornquist and Lomberg. Before the game last night, I kind of thought maybe Lomberg should be up where Mammon's spot is, but the more I watch this team, the more I say, just leave that fourth line alone. It's not a real fourth line. Those guys have really good chemistry together, and they're just so much fun to watch. The third line is the one that really I'm not understanding why we continue to throw Thornton out there. Just give him a night off. Heponiemi has played before. It's not like he'd be a rookie getting his first action. We can move Reinhardt down to 3C and move around some wingers. We've got plenty of depth. Still, we've got good depth. Saron Noel, Hutsko, some of these guys. Now, I know for some of them, it may be a situation where, but for those guys, the situation should be okay where they're not having to clear waivers. But, I don't know everybody's contract, so that could be playing into it a little bit. But we keep winning, and we're not healthy. When you look at the roster, you're missing Barkov, Duclair, Marchment, Achari, and Forsling. So now you're missing basically 2/3 of your top line, and you're missing who was going to be your fourth center. And that's something we should start talking about soon here too, is that, when guys like Achari and Marchment come back, where are we putting them? Who's going to sit? Now, probably you're going to see Marchment slide in for Mammon. Okay. But I love Achari, but do we really want to take Lusterinen off the ice? Or are we going to put Lusterinen back at 3C and put Achari at 4C, and then Jumbo Joe will finally get to sit for a while? That seems to me like that could be the most realistic situation. But we're going to have a numbers game. And, some of these guys like Joe and maybe Hornquist could use a night off. Not that Horny's been bad, but we saw, his play at the beginning of the season. He looked like a madman. He looked really, really good. Last few games just kind of tailed off. He's an aging winger, and it's not a shock. So, maybe as we get guys healthy, we can start giving him a night off here or there, keep him, fresh and rested for the playoffs, because we are going to need him on the ice come playoff time. And defensively, Ekblad and Weegar continue. They look good. I'm listening to Goldie and Randy talk about how Ekblad is probably in the lead for the Norris right now, and that Uyghur is getting some consideration too. Maybe I'm just picky. Ekblad's been good. Uyghur has been kind of inconsistent for my blood. A little bit inconsistent for my blood. He's been beaten a few too many times. And the move to put them on the power play together, I take some cojones. I give Brunette credit. That could have backfired, but it didn't, and it worked out. We need to keep Ekblad in that spot, like Stu said. Off there to the point and not running the power play. That just stopped working completely a while ago. And then Kiersted has come in for Forsling and done okay. He came in and did okay last year too. He was a little bit shaky in the playoffs, but he's obviously a decent depth guy to have, and he's still a young kid, so there's some upside there. And Carlson has looked better the last few games. Connaughton's got to be hurt. There's no other reason why. When Forsling went out, if Connaughton was healthy, I feel like he'd be in the lineup. So some of these guys, especially Carlson, are getting some good playing time, and if Carlson continued to play like this, and you got Kiersted and Connaughton as your 6, 7, 8D, just really no moves to make there. If you're gonna go get, what are you gonna if you went out and got another top 4 guy? Okay, he's still gonna be playing on your bottom pair. So I know we put none of our on LTIR, so he's probably gone. That clears up some cap space. That move wasn't for nothing. And I know we've got a really, really deep team, but just don't be surprised if we go out and try to get somebody who's a legit top 4 defenseman and we'll just have 3 really, really good pairs. I wouldn't be surprised. There's no reason to not go get somebody. And we've talked about it. For Toronto, that's the piece. If you move over Toronto come trade deadline to a Western Conference team who needs some scoring, that to me is like the only move I see them making. I'm not sitting here saying I want them to trade Frank or we even need to make that move. But other than that, there's no moves with this team left to make. And Spencer has kind of answered the question there. There was a couple of games that we were concerned about. Is this kid gonna be ready to be a backup? To me, he showed a lot last night, coming in when we were down like that. And yeah, if he would have given up 1 goal, the game's over. Let's face it. It would have completely killed the momentum. And he shut the door. And even though he didn't see any shots for a while, he didn't see any shots the rest of that second period, and it was into the third before he did. Still, that's kind of part of the point too, because remember the one game, he gave up the first shot. He gave up a goal. First shot in, it was like 12, 13 minutes into the game before he even saw a shot, and he gave up a goal. So if he can just continue to play like that and just be consistent, because Bob's going to have nights like last night. Bobrovsky, man, when he's on, he's on. But when he has a bad night, it can go bad quick. And 4 goals and 7 shots is pretty bad. But we're banked another 2 points. And so we'll be back tomorrow, Saturday, 1:00. I'm sure I'll be okay for the live stream. That'll start at noon. I'm going to probably, I'm starting the football channel either today or tomorrow. I was going to start with the picks video today. We'll see how I feel when this is all done. And if it's not out today, it'll be out tomorrow. That channel's Flying Fluffy Football. And I'll post an update about it too here on this channel when I do get that video going. And then I'm not going to have anything football-wise too much on Sunday because my daughter's still going to be here visiting. But she leaves Monday during the day. So Monday night, I will be live streaming the entire Patriots-Bills game to kind of kick that channel off because it's going to be more of an NFL channel than just the Dolphins channel. So with that, my energy level is done. That was all the energy I had. And I appreciate all the support. Sorry about not having the live stream and the shorter recap last night. Every once in a while, this line will come back around and kick me in the ass. And I'm pissed because I've been doing pretty good. I've been pretty healthy. and going to the airport. From now on, when my daughter flies in, I'll just have Karen go get her, because it's every time I go to an airport, I don't have to get on a plane or anything, but I don't know if it's just being around all the different people or whatever it is, I get sick then, the next day, next 2 days. So I won't do that again. But it doesn't speak well for if I'm going to fly down to Florida for a playoff game either. That may be stupid on my part to think I'm going to do that. So, all right, guys, I appreciate all the support, and I will see you guys again tomorrow.